Good evening, welcome to the Halifax Board of Selectmen's meeting for Tuesday, October 9th. This meeting is being recorded for cablecast and YouTube presentation by Area 58 Community Access Media.
Mr.
Millis will not be in today. We expect to see him in the next couple of days. So we are going to start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right. Well, standing in for playing the role of Tom Milius today will be Troy Gare.
First of all, wish Tom well. I hope he gets better. No, you're gonna just pull the line out.
It's right there. In the very beginning, I think. Right here. There you go.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, I'd like to affirm the approval of the following warrants and commitments. Payroll warrant number 29 for $366,730.88. Withholding warrant number 30 for $140,958.56. School warrant number 31, $186, $483.52. And vendor warrant number 32 for $70,543.85. And ambulance commitment from 9/18, $201,079.
I will second that. All in favor?
Aye. Approve the following warrants and commitments. Vendor warrant number 33 for $1,444,390.49. Mobile park fee number 10 for $5,160.
I will second it. All in favor?
Aye. I'd like the approval of the payment for Selectmen's bills dated October 9th, 2018. Selectmen's expense account, MMA, monthly meeting, $40. Law account for Attorney Lawrence. Mail, PC, professional services, general counsel, $518.75. Law account, Michael C. Gilman, Esquire, professional service and labor, $385. And law account, Brooks and Durenzo. Did I pronounce that right? Durensis. I don't know something. Law account, Durensis, $1,175. And that completes the presentation.
Well, Charlie, I will turn it over to you.
Okay.
Oh, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
How about select the minutes?
Oh, yeah. So I will move that the regular session of June 26, 2019 be approved. 2018.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you for keeping us on track.
Okay, I try.
So we've got a thin mail file. Let's see what we can get done with it between appointments. Old Colony Plan Council is looking for someone to serve on their NPO organization. It's not one from each community. One of the members needs to be from a town of 14,000. Is there any interest? Cultural Council, there's a grant agreement with the state that needs to be signed by the chair, and it's only the chair, so if the board will vote to authorize the chair to sign.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Sign here and then down here too.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Recycling abatement requests.
Right here on the left, correct?
Yes. Pam has given you a list. These were either ones that were received after the deadline of September 5th, or either the abatement form or the letter from the hall was received before September 5th, but the other document was received after or not received at all.
My personal feelings on it is that we tried to clean this situation up from last year by notifying the people on their bills, as well as on our meetings, that these things had to be in by September 5th, and you had 30 days in which to from the time they receive the bill to turn them in. In order to be fair, we've already denied at least 20 some odd individuals. In order to be fair to them, I think that we need to deny those that have come in late, in spite of the fact that they didn't follow the whole process. It's no different than going to the registry motor vehicles, and if you don't have your ID with you, you're not going to get your license because you may have held the form out properly with no identification. I just think that as much as I'd like to be able to say to each citizen, you know, I appreciate the fact you have a private hauler, but we put this process in place to keep things straight and fair.
I agree. So did Surrey. Surrey totally agree.
So if someone would make a motion to in fact deny the abatement requests, either ones that we formally have received or the ones where one document or the other is received but not the other, is that fair, Pam?
Yeah, that's great. If they just want to see bill numbers.
Right, I understand
Yeah,
that. And I'm not mentioning,
Right, exactly.
it's the list that you have before you from Pam for tonight's meeting dated October 9th.
Okay. I'll make a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Tim Watts would like to be reappointed to the Taunton River Stewardship Council for a term expiring October 1st of 2020.
I will make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We had several town officials meet with representatives from the Old Colony Planning Council back, I think it was on Thursday, about the Route 106 corridor study. We went through a lot of the intersections in Halifax and what improvements might happen, also, you know, possibility of adding sidewalks and such. I mean, there are obviously a number of places where things could occur. The biggest challenge probably is going to be that because all these are state roads, not state roads, the town owns all these roads, they're only state routes, that, including 106, that any planning money to start the process is going to have to come from the town. And then it ends up being a multi-year process of getting to a point of actually doing any work. We have a limited amount of money, and I know Steve Hayward, previous highway surveyors have said, look, if I have a choice between spending $100,000 on planning efforts for something we might do 5 or 10 years from now, $100,000 on road repair work, we're going to tend to spend.
Much rather do the road repair.
Right. It doesn't mean the problems don't exist or that we're ignoring them. It's simply a matter of we've got only so much funding. But at least OCPC will be including this information in their study.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get a copy of it for any further questions or comments.
I thought the gentleman was very helpful. I thought he was great. On a side note, I did get a text from the highway surveyor that he did take down some of the trees today.
Yes,
So-
over at the school.
Yeah, so that's good.
We do have one cemetery deed to sign. There's no vote needed, just that the board needs to sign that. Just an update on Pasture Lane in connection with that unfinished subdivision. There's one lot remaining. We're trying to get the road completed. The planning board and the developer didn't meet last week because they didn't have a quorum. So the next attempt for them, everybody to meet, will be the 18th. You know, we have a resident who's very concerned about the condition of the road because right by her home, the road's getting broken up and such. Would like to get the road fixed, but since the town doesn't own the road, it's up to the developer, but it would be done as part of the work the developer's doing to get the last lot released. Let's just get that done. Oak Point, Thompson Street. We had a complaint from a resident in Middleborough that because we didn't have any lines on Thompson Street because of the newly done work there, that it was difficult driving on the road, especially for the elderly from Oak Point. And what Steve Hayward told me today is, in fact, the line work was done just last night.
Perfect.
So that would help. Open meeting law complaint, Gordon C. Andrews, the former member on the Finance Committee, filed a complaint with the Zoning Board of Appeals alleging that the ZBA improperly went in executive session on July 9th due to a lack of a roll call vote and a conflict of interest for Keziah Nazarella due to his interest in the matter that was going to be under discussion, which was the Mudfest court case. I've provided guidance to the ZBA about the matter, and the ZBA is going to meet before the 14-day period that they have to respond to Mr. Andrews. In his notes, Mr. Andrews wants to require that the ZBA attend an open meeting law and ethics program. There's no action for the board to take specifically.
Oh, okay.
I've provided, as I said, some guidance. I do.
So have you suggested to the zoning board that perhaps,
Well, I said, if they determine that in fact,
okay,
and I did recommend to them that they, for instance, there were online workshops for the open meeting law, there was ones also for ethics for that matter. But, I may very well try and do an open meeting law workshop later this year.
And we also had on online conflict of interest training also, so
Right.
maybe it would be justified for them to take that course again if they've already taken it.
So that's before them.
Okay.
We'll see what happens as a result of the complaint.
thank you.
Finance Committee, Adrian McDougal, who met with Finance Committee earlier this month, is unable to meet with the board tonight because of a scheduling conflict. She's
Did we
gonna-
let Melinda know because she was going to come and vote on behalf?
Melinda was the one who in fact told me.
Oh, perfect, okay. Well, there you go.
So, but I also
Thank you.
informed Dennis Carmen.
Oh, yes.
So,
Yes,
and so everything's got to move to the 23rd.
thank you.
Elevator maintenance contract, I'm going to pass over. This was going to be an affirmation of my signing a
Yeah.
contract with United Elevator. We're going to wait 2 weeks because he
Yeah, I
has
can't. I have to
a conflict of
recuse
interest
myself.
on that. So wait for Tom to be here along with Troy. We did get a letter from the police chief, from Ted Broderick, saying that the last day of his service here as a member of the police department as police chief will be November 1st. He wrote, "This has been a difficult decision, one not made lightly, but a necessary one. It's my privilege to have worked for the town for most of 33 years. Will be missed." With that said, it's time I focus on my family and all the opportunities that entails. I'd like to thank the townspeople for their support, especially the men and women of the department for their support and backing during my career.
Oh, that's very nice.
I would like to move that, even though he hasn't left yet, that we be sure to send a letter of him thanking him for his service and
Yeah, absolutely.
accommodations, and maybe give him a certificate for the time he's been here.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I've definitely enjoyed working with Ted. Obviously, I didn't work for all the years he has been here, but we've served together in one capacity or another for a couple of decades, so I've
In
welcomed.
fact, I was just looking at a picture tonight of you in your younger days.
I had younger days.
So I will second that motion. I mean, I'm sure we'll have plenty of nice things to say about Ted in the next coming weeks. He's been really wonderful to work with, and I know, Troy, you've worked with him for a long time too, so he's, we're losing a part of our family, so we wish him nothing but the best on his new journey as a retired person.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be retired, certainly retired.
No, I
from the
had joked with
department.
him for many years that I would pick him up on a bike so I could bring him to the council on aging, but he's resisting that.
Okay.
Anyway,
You
all
can
those in favor?
get a golf cart or something.
No, I just thought it'd be fun him on a bike. Anyway,
So my Pond, just
Yeah.
to, let me go to the dog incident. We're having a hearing in a couple of weeks on the dog
Yes.
incident where.
we don't have any report, do we?
Oh, have we got anything?
I didn't see any report. I can
Oh,
call
no, there is,
Marie.
yeah, Maureen,
Noreen.
Noreen did a report, and I did get something from the animal inspector.
Oh, you
So
did?
it's
The dog's been
it's on
quarantined?
my desk, so
Okay.
if you want, I'll just.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, just, I'll make you some copies or whatever you want to do with it.
Thank
On
you.
Ponce Pond, I'm happy to say both sections of the pond are back to being open.
There was one
It's-
part of that you didn't
I'm
go
sorry.
over, which is the
Oh, yes,
setting.
I'm
Yes,
sorry, yeah.
that's okay. We're gonna go back to that, whatever you were saying, but we need to finish the
Yeah, I will.
conversation. Yeah, no worries.
But the algae levels for East Mont Ponce have gone back below the 70,000.
I think we've done an excellent job this year of keeping the ponds open. I haven't heard a complaint from anyone. Normally in my community here, I get it.
West Mont Ponce, which is where our town beach is, has been open for the entire summer. I've been happy with that. I think we're going to, I need to be talking with some combination of the Finance Committee, Youth and Rec, and the Parks Commission that we need to do now a better job of maintaining the beach area and the area around there, since if it's going to be used now, one hopes for the entire summer, every summer, that we need to do a better job maintaining it.
I would like, on a side note, to set up another working group meeting for November, just to kind of touch base with everybody going into the fall. Okay,
On the police
yeah.
chief, we did have the assessment center on Saturday, went well, and certainly logistically, everything got done as it should have been. The assessment center, we had 5 candidates, and all of them attended, and all of them went through the assessment center. The consulting firm Badge Quest provided the board of selectmen with some reports about the 5 candidates. All 5 of them are considered to have passed. And now it's up to the board whether to interview as many candidates as they want to. If they want to interview 4 or 5, my recommendation is to do that over 2 days, because we probably want to set aside an hour for each candidate. And and anything more than 3 candidates in 1 day would not be helpful either to the board or the candidates themselves. Based on the schedules for the board members, it looks like the best times to do this would be on Wednesday, October 17th, between 9 and 1, and/or Thursday, October 18th, starting at 2:30 in the afternoon. And the idea would be is if the board wants to interview 5 or 4, I would set up both days, either a 2 and 2 split or a 2 and 3 split. And then if it's fewer than 3, the board needs to pick or 3 or fewer, if the board would pick a day, Wednesday or Thursday, and would bring in all 3 of them.
I think that it's in our best interest where we have 5 candidates that are viable, that we interview all of them.
Well, that's what I was thinking, because looking at the point scores that were given to them, there's not much of a spread between that. Nobody really, at least in my mind, stands out and said more important. I agree with you. We should go with all 5, and it gives us a better opportunity.
Yeah, to get to know them in an hour interview, I think is great. So I would suggest that we do 3 on Wednesday, 1 at 9, 1 at 10:15, 1 at
11:30.
yeah. So go on. We'll figure that out, and then 2 on Thursday afternoon. And I'm happy to coordinate that with Charlie tomorrow and contact the candidates to let them know.
We're gonna
Okay.
hold on to this, John.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, that's a,
Yep.
we'll coordinate, and then you'll
So the
find.
board would officially vote to do all that.
Okay, so
So
I'll make.
moved.
Okay, second. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
And
Perfect.
your 7:45 is here.
Hi. How are you?
How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for coming in. So you are here. Let me just get my stuff. I had it all organized. Yeah. So you're Jacqueline and Andrew?
Correct.
Okay, perfect. And you're here because you were seeking an abatement for your recycling bill.
Yeah.
And I understand that we did receive it on the 7th, and we don't have an envelope with a postmark, and I don't know why we don't have an envelope with a postmark. Yeah.
Because I mailed it.
Yeah, we even the
Yeah, I have
original doesn't
right
show.
here. Yeah, I just, nothing is, like, doesn't even say like Brockton, like sometimes they'll say Brockton.
Yeah,
Right.
but not even the
I know,
stamp. I mean, you
very
could,
crazy.
you
We've
could,
had issues in the past with mail not getting delivered.
Yeah, because we're getting married next week, and we've had like RSVPs that people have said they sent. I still haven't received them.
yeah, but what's really strange is that we always at least have some kind of a stamp on that, but you're right, it's
Right.
just, so there's no proof here that
Right.
is my
and That's
point.
the problem, because
I
I
know.
know that I sent it prior to the deadline. I mean, I always send my stuff prior to it, and
Because I remember it was in the mailbox on the 4th, because I know that because my father had passed the next day, so
yes,
that's
I
just kind of
remember.
like a timeline for me to
Yeah.
remember.
And did you
But-
mail it at the Halifax post
No, I
office?
just put it in
in
my
our
mailbox with a flag up.
Oh,
I mean, yeah.
yeah, this is the problem that we're having, honestly. Is that we've had a lot of people, not a lot of people, we've had a handful of people, and, you know, last year we kept moving this due date, you know, and it just caused a problem, and then it's about fairness of people. And so we have actually turned people down, have been late, and for us to do that in this particular case, where we have no real proof that it was submitted earlier,
Okay.
it's an issue for us, so.
Yeah, I can see how it would be an issue. Is this maybe something that we could take up with the postal service for perhaps dropping the ball on what their duties are?
Well, we
Well,
don't
The
know.
thing is, even if we received it here in the office on the 7th.
Okay.
So, I mean, they could have grabbed it on the 4th or the 5th.
Right, but then
But
how
by the
was
time,
supposed
by
to
the time it got
control?
processed, if they picked it up on the 4th, it doesn't mean, they have
It
to
wouldn't have gotten
process
here on the
it.
5th.
It wouldn't have got here on the 5th. If they picked up on the 5th, we definitely didn't get on the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can't even see when it was postmarked, because it could have been postmarked the 5th.
But even if, Pam, good point, because if it was a 4th, it would have gone, it would have been processed.
And it doesn't go to Halifax, sometimes 9 times out of 10 it goes to Brockton, that's where it goes. So,
Oh.
yeah, we don't even do it in our
Right,
Those-
but I mean, if I know that I put it in the mailbox and I'm thinking it's gonna be postmarked before the due date, then I would think that
Well,
would be.
the whole point is, no, it's not typically, it has to be usually it has to be in here by the due date. We don't typically go by the postmark. I'm only bringing that up because we don't even have
Right, so
proof
we
that
don't
it was
even know.
moved. Right,
Right.
but it has to be here by the 5th.
Yeah,
It has to be the 5th, and unfortunately, it wasn't. So, Troy, I don't know if you have anything to say.
No, it's, you know, I
Appreciate
empathize,
it, yeah.
believe me, I empathize with you, and I'm not saying this just of complacency. But we went through this last year where we kept changing the due date, because we're trying to accommodate the citizens of the town. But then it wind up being that those people, we had over, 120, 125 people that got the paperwork in on time. Is it fair to them to say that we're gonna give somebody else a break on it? You know, I understand the circumstances, but it's still, it's late, it didn't get here on
And
time.
for the others that are late, the others, then we have to go back. And then if we say, okay, well, if it's only 1 day late, then we've moved the due date. And then for those people who are 2 days late, they're like, well, wait a minute, I'm only off by a day. What's the difference between that person being off from the day and I'm being off? And then it just
And-
keeps,
and believe me, we don't mean
use
to,
the
you know,
service. I mean, we don't
Those-
use
Yeah,
yeah.
recycling service.
Yeah.
I mean, his father passed away on the due date, so I know for a fact I sent it prior to that, because I wasn't doing anything the rest of that
all
week.
right,
So, I mean, that just seems silly to me
all
to,
right, yeah.
well, that's the decision. I'll make a motion that we deny the,
We had already did that,
Oh,
but
okay.
if you wanted,
Yeah.
because they did it then.
You
okay.
know, it's a hell of a wedding gift. I'm sorry, you don't want to do these things to you, but
Yeah, if it was my
unfortunately.
personal business, I would do it, but this is the town and we're elected to do.
I know, but
Right by
I don't
the
think
town.
many people would show good faith in coming to this meeting, you
Mm.
know,
Well,
a week before their wedding. But-
well, that has, okay. Thank you. Best of luck. That was tough, but we can't. Again, it's really hard, but if we do it for one, we have to open it up for everybody.
And last year we think we had one guy, remember the gentleman that had that?
Yes, oh yeah, that was very sad.
It's dead.
That was sad, so if we changed it.
It's a dead issue at this point.
Okay. All right, Charlie.
School building project, next review session is this Thursday at 3 o'clock. They're
Yes.
still working on the doors. They're putting together the punch list at this point. There's still work to get done on the other elements, but things are moving along, however slowly on that. Zoning bylaw committee. I had met with Rob about this. I guess there are some concerns with the lack of action with the zoning bylaw committee, and also with a court case that we're dealing with. In that, if you remember, I mentioned Gordon C. Andrews, the complaint with the ZBA. He also has a court case against the ZBA concerning Amanda's estates. His father is serving on the committee. Rob is on the committee as a building inspector. Tom Millius, our member of the Board of Selectmen, is on. As much as they may not specifically be listed as defendants, nevertheless, they're of the town
Yeah.
officials on the town of Halifax is serving as defendants.
Yeah.
And my recommendation would be that the Board of Selectmen instruct the committee not to work on the sections of the bylaw regarding multifamily housing until the Andrews versus Halifax matter is resolved in the courts one way or the other. That would prevent work by those parties who have an interest in this from doing work on that section of the bylaw, which is in contention right now.
And especially if they did come up with a change to it, and we accepted it, and then the court order came in, when we had to revise, we bring in the change.
It would make things more complicated, certainly. Second, this does not mean that there's no work to do. There are other sections of the bylaw, for instance, with the sign bylaw, that the committee could be working on while holding work on the multifamily housing in abeyance, so they shouldn't abandon a meeting schedule simply because they want to be working on multifamily. I know there have to be a number of other issues with the zoning bylaw. And then third, I guess there's just a logistical problem in that meetings are being posted, but meeting members aren't being told they're posted.
Oh,
Yeah, so then nobody shows up, there's a lack of quorum.
So there's no method of getting emails to them or contacting them?
Well, nobody's doing the work that should be
but
done.
why would you
Okay.
post it if you haven't let the other members know
I
that there
don't know
was?
why
Okay.
the reasons, all I know is that it's occurring. So what I'm recommending is that the board instruct the committee that all members of the committee should receive a copy of the agenda at the time it is posted. Then before that, be notified before the agenda is posted of the next date, time, location of the meeting, so if they wish to have items added to the agenda, that they have the opportunity to do so. And it's the responsibility of the clerk of the committee to do the posting and then poll the members beforehand for items to be placed on the agenda, and then also inform the members and distribute the agenda once it is posted.
Yeah,
And say that to the committee, if the board would be willing to have me send out a note along those lines.
yeah.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We have the ADA, we have a state grant application in. The state funds ADA improvements and planning.
Yes.
What I did was send in a grant application for a self-evaluation and transition plan. What it does is review the town's buildings and infrastructure and its services and programs to see if we're in compliance with federal and state ADA statutes and regulations. The only way you can get grant money to do the actual work, for instance, let's say we wanted to try for grant money for the ramp here, which we won't be eligible for because we don't have a plan in place. So we're going to go ahead with the ramp project at some point without this. But further down the line, for instance, with the Council on Aging, if we ever get anything put together for that, that would be an eligible project once we had a plan in place. So I put in an application for funding about, I think, $33,000. I sent out a request for quotes and received 5 back.
Perfect.
So I'm hoping
Awesome.
we'll see in a few months if we'll take that long.
Thank you, Charlie.
On the Mayflower Municipal Health Group, just to review, Mayflower Municipal Health Group is our insurer. They insure this community and something like 30 other cities, towns, school districts, fire districts, water districts, you name it. We've been a member since its inception. We offer 9 plans right now. 3 at what's called the traditional legacy, with very low deductibles, but it's in co-pays, but it's a higher premium plan. One a little bit below that with slightly higher co-pays and such. The premium's a little bit lower. Then something resembling what's called the benchmark plan. Benchmark in this case meaning that when we're trying to compare whether we have a plan that's equivalent to the most popular state plan, that we have a plan that resembles it, and that's the benchmark plan. That has even higher deductibles and co-pays and but a lower premium. What has become into vogue during the last few years is a much higher deductible plan, in that employees can choose to take a plan that has a $2,000 deductible or
On an annual
$4,000
basis?
yeah, for individuals or $4,000 for family. As you might guess, that has, even while the deductible is much higher, it has a much lower premium, usually around 15% lower than our most popular plans do. Mayflower is going to offer that starting in fiscal year 2020, meaning starting on July 1st. So we'll go into the open enrollment period this spring. We have the option, and there's no decision needed tonight about any of this. I just wanted to bring the board up to speed a little bit, in that we can make a decision as a town to offer this type of plan. It's always nice to prevent another option, but there are a couple of caveats to this. The plan is structured so that the town would have to pay for 50% of the deductible, so that a $2,000 deductible would be funded half by the employee and half by the town.
That makes it really complicated to keep track of all of
There's that
that.
piece of it. And then what you end up with the equivalent of a health savings account, in
Yes.
that the employee can put money aside tax-free for those health expenses against the deductible. That's a permanent account. It used to be in the old, back 25 years ago, the first HSAs were fiscal year, and they ended on June 30th. That's why for a lot of plans, you'll hear, your plan year is ending, spend it down, go get your dental visit, go get your vision visit, whatever, so that you don't lose the money that you've put away.
Because you couldn't carry it.
Right, now can be carried over. In fact, people can invest
Wow.
money in, so that if you wanted to go
It's
in,
almost like a
retirement fund type
plan.
thing, yeah. But as you might expect, all those things bring more complexity and more work for the treasurer's office. So as much as it might be nice to offer a plan, there's the downside that it would take more work by the treasurer's office. And when I've talked to Pam Aducci and Linda Cole, right now, given the hours that Linda has available, she really probably could not handle an additional plan of this complexity. The other plans are fairly simple. We've had them set up. One of the things that's been happening is more of our population is retirees and are taking the Medicare,
When
which
you
is,
look at me when you say that.
hey, look at me, I'm looking in the mirror soon. And going to, it's more complex, there's a lot more work with the retirees than with the employees about the Medicare plans. But this is even another step beyond that. There's no decision needed by the board tonight. What I'm probably going to be doing is at some point bring the treasurer's office to talk with the finance committee, to talk with you about the pros and cons. But it's something that we need to be figuring out sometime in the next few months.
And there's no thought of farming that out.
Well, again, you spend money then doing
Spend
that
money
too.
doing this thing. So either way, we're gonna be spending money on it.
Yeah.
Right, so I just wanted the board to be
I'll
aware
leave it
that
to the
that's
money
being considered. There's, by your piles in Pam's office is a notice about the Selectmen's Association annual meeting. That's, I believe, in a couple weeks on the
October
20th.
20th.
And that's what I've got right now.
And then our 8 o'clock is a little tardy. Well, just 2 minutes tardy.
Yeah, 8 o'clock is which one?
Mr. Liddell.
Okay,
And that's our last appointment.
I'll check the,
Do we have any other business to do?
If you guys want to sign these.
Oh,
these are
yeah.
the
Yeah, that was
ones
really
you-
hard.
And then you can sign.
And then I
this
don't think I
one.
remembered to say I was sorry for this dad. I know that was bad. Like
No.
bad.
Like you said, if
Thank you. Oh, I hear somebody. Is that Charlie?
His name was Charlie.
Oh. Is Santa? Is Santa coming to deliver some money for us?
Let's get a lot of soot in the room.
I'll see you inside. Well, wait a couple more minutes.
Yeah, we can wait like 5 more minutes.
Can I take a nap break? No.
Sure. Oh, can I just tell you the times that I came up with while we wait?
Sure.
So I would say 9, 10:15, 11:30, and then 2:30 and 3:45. You said you could be here by 2:30, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, coolio.
I had put that in the calendar already.
Okay.
Not even, it was in connection with that, it was simply so that Irma and Pam know what time I'll be back from the managers meeting.
Okay,
So, and that was an estimate, and,
perfect.
certainly unless there's another salad dressing incident on 495.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
It was salad dressing?
Yes, it was salad dressing,
Is that what spilled on the road?
about 6:45.
Slip it and slide.
When you do that, you guys chat, I'm gonna go grab the phone number.
Yeah, I had to go through the back roads, taking 123 through Attleboro in order to get back connect to 495 to bypass the accident. But yeah,
That was a big truck that hit the overpass, right? How did he not know how tall the truck is?
The ones that we have abatement forms that we just denied. because they didn't-
I would have them send letters.
Right, I will send them this, should I have them sign maybe the letter down here, maybe them, the board?
Yeah.
No, okay. So Troy, there was, if you just want to sign the very bottom, and then we'll have Kim sign above your name, and I'll put, these are for the people that didn't have abatement forms that we denied them. Just so I have something on record, and then I'll pop the date in there, and and outright not granted.
The interviews will be public. We'll have them on cable and everything like that, but they will be public. We'll have them down here simply because the recordings come out a lot better because of the equipment being here. I mean, if we had 70 people upstairs, for a meeting, then we'd do it upstairs, but given that we're doing it during the day, we might have some audience here, but I don't expect more than the
15. Only half the police department will be here.
So we'll just wait for Kim to come back and adjourn.
Yeah, so aside those, I'll play with them tomorrow.
You said the first one's at 9 on the 17th, right?
Right, well, that's our plan, right? I mean, we have to make the phone calls to confirm everybody coming in and such, but yeah.
Gotcha.
See if they're still interested.
Probably call or something the day before then just to confirm.
So it'll be this, 17th at 9, 10:15, 11:30, and Thursday at 2:30 and 3:45. Thursday, October 18th.
And McDougal,
She's coming in 2 weeks. We originally had her scheduled for tonight, but the
I
schedule...
don't see anybody even driving in the parking lot,
Yeah,
so.
so when we adjourn, and we'll be
Yeah.
We just need to sign
Because
those letters.
it's been 10 minutes, so.
signing
She
the
signed,
bond.
yeah, because those, they were the ones that didn't have abatement forms, so.
Oh, thank
But
you.
I just want something on record, putting it on our way.
Okay, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
I will second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you.